Hey everyone, this is Alan.
I'm Steven.
And of course you've known us from our previous episodes, but maybe you're tuning in for the first time. If so, I'll let Steven give us the elevator pitch of who we are and what we're doing here.
Yep, so again, I'm Steven. Today we're going to be going over some new card previews for Hubworld Aidalon. Again, our mission since we've started this has been really trying to promote and really get it out there to the audience and to the world really, that everyone should be playing Hubworld Aidalon. It is a great game. It is very unique to any game that I've ever played, which I think adds, again, its own niche to it or its own competitive advantage, really, as a game. But what we're really trying to do is showcase the game. We've got our other, matches where we're showing the game and how it's played. If you haven't checked those out, please do. But Al and I are going to be dissecting the factions. We have done one so far. We're going to do one more on this episode, and we'll have some future ones going over the next preview decks. But yeah, that's kind of the name of the game.
So we did the old money, old Eidalon. Green is the color. In the last episode, the roll-off gave us Omniworks, which is the orange color. Today, just to piggyback on that, I noticed we didn't really give anything under a 3. There may have been 1 or 2 cards we were kind of like a 2 on. We're not overinflating or overhyping the game. This is to be expected with an LCG, a living card game, whatever the term they're going to use, because that was an FFG term. So they're probably going to have a different term for what they're calling this card game, but I'll just say LCG because anyone that even knows the general terminology of games will understand that. So, pardons if it's a different term. But, when you're buying a set and you get a full play set of the cards and there's no chase, there's no booster packs.
True.
You do not design commons, you do not design uncommons. Every card is designed to be playable at a competitive level.
True.
So if you're designing cards like that, that means in general, everything should be at least a 3. So what I'm going to try to do this time on our 1 to 5 scale is 1 is technically what you would think of in a CCG or TCG as a 3. Because I'll say 2. 2 is completely the line. So if you're below average, you're 1. Because there's not enough disparity. There shouldn't be enough disparity. It should be It should be a death sentence to get a 1.
Yeah. True.
2 is you're doing good. 3 is okay, this should see some play. I can see immediately that it should see some play. 4 is okay, I can see a moderate amount of play. And 5, the perfect score, means that it should be an auto include. It may be an auto include. Okay, I'll say 4 is it'll see moderate play and it's an auto include for the faction. So in today's we're doing orange, it's an auto include in orange and you may see other people splash into it too.
Right.
5 is it's an auto include in orange and it's pretty much an auto include, you're going to see a ton of people trying to yank that card.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of synergy involved with those cards.
Which means you should see prevalently that card popping up in multiple decks. In terms of card games, it's a Force of Will, yep, or a counter spell or a lightning bolt or the quintessential cards that either get banned or get tooled very quickly because pretty much, can you run this card? You should be running this card or you will be losing.
Sure.
one of those that's so like good that it's literally a mistake not to run it if you can run it in any way, shape, or form. And I state that because, like, for your deck to win, you may have to be green and blue. So you can't afford to dip into orange to get this card. That's understandable. It's not a mistake to not run that card in that situation because your main win strategy is color coding you out of that card. That happens in all card games. If we could all run Force of Will, we'd all run Force of Will, but not everyone can put blue in their deck to run a magic deck with it, or can't run red just for Lightning Bolt.
True.
So, off the long-winded there, but so we'll try to, I think, kind of grade a little differently this time than the last because we weren't really using one or two at all, and it just kind of became a moot point. And so I think instead of trying to do like 3.5 or 3.6 or weird like decimals, we can use the 5-point system a little better, so that way numbers are getting spared across a little better. So,
sure.
So with that, we are in Omniworks and starting with a character that has already been in our preview decks and you've seen us play, but we don't know her final form and much less like
what changes they could have made to her.
We have found that some cards did get manipulated slightly, which probably is for the best because in the old Aidalon episode. So, want to start us off?
Yeah, so we got Auntie Ruth. She has a cost of 4. She has her lightning bolt symbol, which I believe, if I remember correctly, that is
an instant speed action.
Yeah, resolves during an instant speed window. You're going to exhaust that card, choose a player, and they draw 1 card, which is actually a change. The original Auntie Ruth says choose a player, they draw 3 cards.
After this card is forged, it's a reaction. After this card is forged, choose a player, they draw 3 cards.
Yeah.
And notice that she's missing the cipher.
Yeah.
That cipher was a huge thing.
Yeah.
So originally her cipher in these preview decks was to be able to even capture her, you had to spend an action.
Yeah.
So if you didn't have an action to flip over, like it was your last action of the turn, you could not get her if you found her. So maybe they thought that was a little too harsh.
Yeah. I mean, I could say in some previous matches she was pretty tough to get rid of, so I can understand where they're coming from. And then
it's interesting that they didn't just give her the draw a card in the thing. She actually produces a shard, but could exhaust instead to draw a card, but it could be any player.
Yeah, which I like. I think that could help with maybe, right, kind of in our recent episode, I decked out. Maybe she'd be good with like blue, like, or having some better versatility with like, you know, either forcing me to draw more to mill my deck out, or right, give yourself that versatility to either exhaust for a card or gain a shard, which I think is pretty important in that case.
Obstacle cost is still 3, so that matches, and her I think it was presence. It's still presence. 2, so that matches.
And then there still is the cipher cost. They still have it at the bottom.
Oh, okay.
So I guess, yeah, the only thing they changed was really that whole forged mechanic versus exhaust. I guess she's still going to be a tough cookie to beat. Truthfully, she's definitely very strong. I think I would run her.
Yeah, you can either draw a card or make the opponent draw a card or gain a shard yourself.
Yeah.
So very versatile while still costing 4. So, you know.
I mean, I'd say she's a solid, 3 to 4 something.
I'm going to put her personally at a 4 because we've been talking about like mill might be a thing you see out of blue, and you would probably, because one of the key components of a mill deck with blue is their agent that like makes the opponent draw archive 2 cards off the top of the deck. So they're shaving 2 cards a turn off the top of their deck.
Yeah.
And then she's on top of that would be giving you the splash you need for the shift cards, while simultaneously being very hard to get herself if they find her, and giving you another card that adds to the shaving cards off the top of the deck.
I agreed. Yeah, she's definitely very. She could definitely synergize well with other.
So I see like side rant. Any card game that comes out, if milling is an option, there will be a subset of players that just try to make mill decks, even if they have no tournament viability. It happened in Magic, still happens in Magic.
Yeah, so
happens in Yu-Gi-Oh! Happens in like Pokemon.
Yeah, they are still trying to, make mill a win condition eventually. Even like you said, even if it's not tournament viable, it's just for the fun of it. Can I get a player to deck out? And when it happens, it's great, but sometimes it can be a glass cannon.
So I think it might be, and again, this is only the second color we're seeing, and blue is kind of what we need to see if it's actually truly viable. So I can't for certain say, but I see just from the preview decks, the games we played, that it's a possibility. So there's going to be a cultish subset that's going to want to do it anyway.
True.
If it actually is viable, there'll be another subset of players that want to win with blue and will go that route to do it. So I feel like there's enough people that would do that. And because calling in favors is we know from the orange deck, now it could have gotten changed.
Yeah.
And not been as huge as it is, but calling in favors, and we'll see if it matches. 0 cost, take 2 actions, gain 4, draw a card. Gain 4 shards and then draw a card. And so, like, if that's in a 1 or 2 category, I see orange being wanted to be grabbed anyway. And she could draw you extra cards or gain you money. She's versatile, so this might be the one you pick for your pit for that too.
Right.
So I just see, like, orange being popular as a grab choice. So I'll put her at a 4.
I would agree, 4.
Oh, is it another? Scroll down. It is another agent. It's one we haven't seen. Big Varna Gorvis, friends in every district. And he's kind of a Schwindler kind of guy, I guess. We got a 2 cost, so he's one of your cheaper ones. As an action, if you have more cards in your council than your rival, exhaust this card and gain 3 shard. Council is their hand. Yeah. Okay, I'm just double checking. So, because I was like, man, each player has to count their deck out. That would
suck.
There'd be some shenanigans from nefarious people too. I don't like that. But no, it's hand. Okay, that's perfect. So that's... I could see a really good orange control deck, and I'll go into that after I finish this card. Forming in my head right now. If it's discovered, if you have more cards in your council than a KG player, so if the conditions are met still, archive 1 card at random from their council.
Which is huge. I could see this definitely being control.
This goes with blue for the mill. But I also see in this control players, not mill players, but control, where it's like, I'm trying to win in the late game and control the board state and put you in a lot of hard choices that will cause you to make mistakes that I can capitalize on control players. Their big thing is they need to force the opponent to play outside the way they want to play to slow them down. If you have Goldie saying you can't have more heat than me or I'm going to gain 3 money. And then you have Big Varna saying you can't have more cards in your hand than me or I'll get 3 money. You start, I can see if there's any, like 1 or 2 more cards that really capitalize like on having a lot of money.
Right.
So maybe you have to go green because that seems to be the faction that's all about money.
Right.
But I can see the formulation from that in my head of like, oh, you're like, You start having more cards than me, I'm starting to get ahead of you. You start having more heat than me, I'm getting ahead of you. Like, no matter what you do, I'm gonna like punish you for trying to get ahead of me in something.
True.
Could be like the start of a really good control deck.
Oh yeah, and then it's got card draw. You get exhausted. Draw a card. It's got a 3 barricade.
3 barricade for 2, which is 3/2 for 2.
Yeah, that's solid. That sounds like a 5 to me. I don't know. Maybe
I'm
overhyping
cipher,
it.
so you just have to have the money.
Yeah, I think it's a 5. I genuinely think that this is all around. Like, you could play this in so many different colors.
I'm gonna put it at a 4 because I don't see it. I don't know, it's too soon for me to tell, but it could be useful, but I'm not positive it just gets the run. Because you don't, the discoverability, unless you're working with archives, you don't care about. You would like the ability to gain the 3, but that requires you to play it. But for 5, everyone's going to be playing it.
I just think the cost of 2 to put it out there to forge it is just so good, and it has a you got a barricade cost of 3, a presence of 2. I
just don't see aggro decks wanting it because they're not going to play them because it's not generating money to pay for itself.
True, but it also generates cards, which you have to play an action to gain 3 shards out of it. But I feel like it's very card focused, like drawing cards.
Oh, it could be.
Using that, I feel like there's a lot of other cards, or a lot of other...
I just feel like I would Ruth it if I was an aggro deck because I'm never going to care about playing the orange agent. I just need it for like calling in favors for a rush.
Right.
Or something like that. So I'm going to 4 it. It's definitely a really good card. I mean...
Yeah. I would agree. It's definitely a very good card. I'm still going to hold it 5. I think there's a lot to, but we just got to see what else is available.
Is this another agent? We're just all agents up front.
All right. 4 cost, Boss Breslow, the Deal Maker. So he has a reaction. After this card is forged, choose a player, unforge a card with a 3 shared cost or less in that player's grid. Wow.
Yeah, flip that B back over.
Yeah. It has a discover. If this card is in your grid, unforge a card and engage player's grid, then exhaust it. Ooh, that's a interesting ability there. You can tap it you can exhaust it for a shard. It's got a barricade cost of 3 and a presence of 2. So, interesting. I don't know what to make of it. It's definitely not a 5.
No, I'm gonna throw this at 3. It's high cost with no cipher.
Mm-hmm.
It does have a discovery, but it needs to be in the grid. I could see it going in a couple decks. No, I can't. See, if it was like a support character like a Shard Runner, it would be huge. Because, they would discover it, you get to unforge and exhaust a card, and that could help protect things that require you to exhaust a card, like the blue character that requires you to exhaust a card in your archives, or things like that. It could be really helpful in that regard. The problem I have with it is, what happens with the discovery is you feel really good all of a sudden. I got to unforge a card and exhaust it. Ha ha ha. Now they pay 2 and they just get an agent.
Yeah.
So it's like, you get to do the thing, but then they pay 2 and they're 1/3 of their victory.
Yeah.
So like, the thing it discovers, or the thing that you do of forging it, needs to be like monumental enough that you're showing a win condition.
Yeah, it's definitely conditional in
but
that regard.
I will say it's 3. It's not like...
I would give it a 3.
It's slightly above average, but I would say it's an orange average. I don't know anyone else would dip this guy over Ruth or the other guy. Like,
I don't think I'll play it.
So, yeah, 3. So far we've got a 5-4, a 4-4, and a 3-3.
Yep.
So, the mighty calling in favors that we talked about. Let's see if it's changed any.
Yeah.
They could have gone, we need to dial that back.
Yeah.
So still 0. Still 2 actions to do it. So, like, if you have 3 actions, you're going to spend your action. Your 2.
One of those actions.
Yeah. And then an additional. So you'll go down to 1. And you gain 4. So that's still the same. And you draw a card. To give you an instance. Pardon me for yawning there. We need some more go-go juice. To give you an understanding of why this is so good.
Give you an understanding? I think what it does is it helps you gain shards at a faster pace, gives you an additional card to draw in the meantime. And sure, you are sacrificing 2 actions altogether to get that. But I feel like, especially when it comes to the shard gain, I think the shard gain is huge, right? If in one of your actions that you can spend each turn, if you don't want to do anything except gain a shard, is just spend an action. So you're gaining, for the price of 2 actions, an additional shard per, like you're getting more value out of the shard gain than you would. And then on top of that, you get to draw an additional card, which again, you just gain 4 shards, right? So more likely than not, or more often than not, if you don't have a card in your hand, that's the only card, like, you're going to probably be able to spend your shards on that card. So I think, to me, it's a very versatile card. And yeah, maybe you're giving your opponent an additional, time to action something, in that round. But I think a lot of the time it does even out, or it does kind of set you ahead for what you want to do rather than what they want to do. And usually when you're playing Calling in the Favors, like, you're doing it on purpose, right? Like, the over and under on that risk when you play that card. So it's, to me, I would say Calling in Favors for me is just a 3. But I could also see it being used in other decks, so maybe a 4. But I think overall for its value, it's probably a 4. Just because, again, like, you think about putting that in any other color, right? You can still use that for, two actions. Like, you're still gaining shards, you're still drawing cards. There's not really anything specific to the Omniworks faction, so I think there's versatility in that. But then again, right, like, the risk and the reward of spending 2 actions, right? Like, how often are you gonna play that? So
I agree with what you said. I'll just expound on it just a slight bit. I don't want to rant too long about this card. It is a really good card. So you, as an action, you can gain a shard. So theoretically, you look at it, this is 2 actions would gain you 2 shards. So you're doubling up on that. Mm-hmm. The fact that the card then draws a card shouldn't be looked at, because you could spend 1 action to draw a card. But you shouldn't, in this instance, think of it that way, as you get an additional action's worth of utility. Mm-hmm. You should think of it as it replaces itself. Mm-hmm. Your hand is still at net 0. You did not technically lose any cards from your hand.
Sure.
Because it has replaced itself. You had a hand of 5, your turn ends with a hand of 5.
Sure.
So your hand stays net neutral while doubling up for 2 cards. I think that should not be underspoken. Because, yeah, you can look at, well, it is a card draw, but it's a little more insidious in that if you think about it, you're literally not losing your hand size to double what you have. And when you're looking at it from a consistency standpoint, Okay, 30 card deck, 6 agents, 36 cards. What that card is doing is literally accelerating you 1 card.
Sure.
So the odds of drawing the card you need if you have 2 of those in your deck is pretty much a 34 card deck. You should be doing the math, because anytime you draw that, you can play it, and it should, well, it's not an exact 1-to-1 that it's a 34 card deck, because if it gets discarded or archived against your will, then you did not get the ability to accelerate your deck a card forward. But theoretically, if it's in your hand, it's not necessarily in your hand, it's just holding a moment for you to have another card there. So that in tournament play is huge, that you have a card that gives you a huge advantage and then like draws a card as well, because that's better than just draw a card, because it's do the thing and you don't have any loss of hand size.
Right, and the great thing about it too is, right, you gain those shards, right, they're sitting there as a placeholder while your opponent's making their move. I'm sure they might delve you, but if you have stuff that's, you know, staged in those in your council path or your common path, your archive path, now you've got money set aside or shards set aside that you can use to unforge or forge cards, right, that can either impede your opponent's delves on you or, right, cause some other shenanigans to occur. So I think it's very good. I think the 4 is where it should be.
Surprisingly, I'm about to downgrade this in my vote to a 3. The one thing you'd forgotten that we needed to look at is at the bottom, and that changes things. Were this a 2 or 1 pip, I would say 4 or 5, argument easy. This needs you to go 50-50, because you need 3 orange agents to get this card. I think that this is how they're controlling the card from being ubiquitous across the entire environment, because 3 orange agents is a bigger commit. You're not getting any of your 4s.
True.
You're not getting any of your 5s if you want to do 5-1.
Right.
You literally got to go 3-3 and stick with 3s and less in 2 different color splits.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying it's not worth it, and we might find after we start like testing with the full set when it comes out in 2027 that that's a 3 and 3 is a non-issue.
Right.
But we've seen some amazing 4, 5, and 6 cards at a green. So it feels like if you're shutting out your high end of a color that's your kind of Seeker's primary color, just to get calling in favors, and what's below it in the 3-0 range, or 3-1 range, because I don't think there's anything with 0 pips. We don't have like an artifact like thing. So because of that, which even though I'm down, my vote is for a 3 because of the 3 pips. I will say this, I'm actually happy that it's a 3. If it was 2 pips, or God forbid 1 pip, every deck would run 1 or 2 orange agents, I'd almost guarantee, just to get some calling in favors. Because I can tell you right now, there's 3 things that, as a professional, like hardcore competitive, like card game player, I look for when a game's first coming out, whether I can break the game or make a deck that's just gonna run roughshod and need erratas or things, because I found something no one else could find. The 3 things you look for is economy. Does a thing allow you to accelerate your economy, like a Black Lotus in Magic the Gathering, or like dual lands in Magic the Gathering? And like Yu-Gi-Oh, it would be things that let you like search for a particular thing, so it's bringing in items. And like a Pokemon, a thing that gives you extra energy faster than you're supposed to, so your Pokemon can attack. The list goes on. Does something allow you to accelerate your economy so you can get a slight advantage of speed because you have more resources than you should have at this point in the game? And but it's also important, does that matter? Like, if you have a bunch of resources and you can't do anything with them, it's 6-1, half dozen the other. But if that resource advantage can allow you to do something earlier than it's supposed to happen that is substantial in a make or break kind of way, like it does something. It's not just like, okay, well, he's kind of going a little faster, but whatever. But no, that's not supposed to be on the board. It might kill me if I don't come up with something. That's what you're looking for. So economy, card advantage, again, drawing extra cards so that way you can see more of your deck so you can find the pieces you need to do the things you need to do. Does it allow you to accelerate, or like one in like Legend of the Five Rings card game was a card that literally when it came into play, I got to look at the top 5 cards of my deck for a particular card, reveal it, put it in my hand, the other 4 went on the bottom of my deck in any order. It technically wasn't like a lot of card draw, but it let me like process 4 cards at the bottom of my deck, know that I wouldn't be drawing those 4 cards, take the 1 card, so it was a card draw in that sense. It let me search 5 deep for and if you're running at things like grab a banana card from your hand, from that group of card search, you're probably running a lot of different banana cards, so you've got a toolbox of different things. So when I look at the 5, I might have 3 different banana cards in my hand. So now I'm like, oh, against this opponent, this banana card's good. That's the one I reveal. These other 2 don't really do well. Great, they're at the bottom of my deck now. I don't have to worry about drawing them later.
True.
So, like, when you... Anyway,
you're not wrong. No, it's not. No, I think that's very good.
And
I think you explained that very well.
So the third, so we have economy, card advantage, and the last thing is turn advantage.
Mm.
So, if you spend your turn, and we can do this in terms of Hubworld, you get 3 actions. If 2 of your actions was gain a shard and gain a shard, I'm just making an overgeneralized, simplified thing so I don't rant too long here. And then I play 1 card, or use an even better, I use an ability on a guy here and I exhaust him, and he says the opponent has to pay 2 shards. My 1 action canceled out 2 of your actions.
Sure.
So in terms of the economy of the turn, I've gotten an advantage over you because my 1 action took away something you took 2 actions to do.
True.
And that could be for cards too. If you play a guy and then you attach him a weapon and then you attach him a shield and then you attach him like an armor. And so now you got 4 cards and this guy's like super like Voltron, Lions Assembled. And I play 1 card and I kill that guy. And all those cards go away. My 1 card just took 4 cards worth of your time away.
True.
So these are what I call like turn advantages, because you're looking at the amount of time opponent took to do their strategy versus the amount of time or effort you took to do yours. And if you could get an advantage in that way, those are huge. So very often things that kill other creatures, like we talked about, or things that cause the opponent to lose something. Milling to a degree works like that, but it's kind of wonky, so I don't count it in that. But argument could be made. So yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to go about it a certain way, but yeah. So you said you're holding this 3. I'm standing at 4.
Good deal.
Alright.
Alright. We don't have a lot of great feelings about this in the preview decks, but this could very easily change now. So hit us off, Steven. I'm going to look to see what that symbol means.
Alright. Shard cost of 3, Canal Network. Choose a player, shift an unforged card in their grid. I believe that's when, if I remember correctly, that's when they forge.
Is that supposed to be like the confrontation?
I think so.
Because I thought it was supposed to be that little symbol there. So I'm a little confused as to that
I think
symbol.
that's the confront, because at least in the promo, it looks like it's the confront. That's
okay. So they kind of made a different confront ability.
Yeah.
Kind of like 3 exclamation points.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Surprise.
So okay.
But yeah, confront. Choose a player, shift an unforged card in their grid. Discover. This card is in your grid. Choose a player, shift a card in their grid, forged or unforged. It has a barricade cost of 2 and then a presence of 5. Kind of what we've experienced when playing this card. It's very conditional. you'd have to delve or want to look at one of my cards to, kind of face the repercussion of that discoverability, as well as maybe, right, you're going through the archives, you're going through my commons, but...
you also got the 3 pips.
Yeah, the 3 pips as well. Yeah, the 3 pips. I don't know. I would say this is a very 2. I don't know.
I'm gonna win this.
Won it.
I think it's below average. I haven't seen enough of orange to give it a higher rating.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I don't know. I see its playability. I just think that it's not. Yeah, it's a tough call for sure. I'm not really impressed with it. It's
beautiful artwork.
It's beautiful, yeah. The artwork is definitely beautiful.
It
Shout
has
out
like
to the
a
artist.
Ghibli, Ghibli meets Fifth Element vibe.
I agree. Yeah, very beautiful. But yeah,
the 5th Ghibli.
Yeah, I think that's
Oop, one we haven't seen before, Cargo Manifest. This is clocking in at 2. Reaction. After this card is forged, choose another player. Look at the top card of their commons. You may add that card to the bottom of their commons. So it's like a aggressive scry.
Yeah, a very aggressive scry. Yeah. And
it gains you a shard. Has a presence of 3, so it will be semi-hard to get rid of. Which is good because if it had a 2 or 1, people would probably try to get rid of it immediately because of the shard. So you should be able to get your money back. It should last at least 2 turns because theoretically you're going to reveal this at the end of a turn. You get this. It doesn't say to exhaust this to do its ability. So you'll reveal it, get to scry the card they're about to draw at the end turn phase. Then determine if you want them to have that. Or God forbid you've already ran on combos and you know what that top card is and this gives you an avenue to reveal it, and then you don't even need to look, you're just like, yeah, put that shit down.
Very true, yeah.
Pardon me language there, guys.
And it's got 2 pips.
And 2 pips.
2 pips. I would say it's a 3.
I'm going to put this at a 4 because I can actively see this working with the blue deck.
Okay.
Because it's going to draw them, it's going to get them shards, which they could use, and it's going to give them another avenue to be...
Right, getting rid of cards.
Because when you're archiving cards, you're also hoping to get their agents there so you can draw them, and this is like, well, that's not an agent. Let's just throw that on the bottom.
Yeah, that's true.
So that way when I do get 2 more cards, so...
Yeah, and I agree, like, you're not, like, inflating their archives to get many out.
I don't know. I'm going to keep it at a 4, but I could easily see it going 3.
Yeah, the only reason I say 3 is just because, like, I think we saw something similar to this in green. Maybe not in terms of the mechanic at the top, but I think every faction is going to have a card similar to this one, where it's a cost of 2 and it's going to do its own little unique mechanic based on its faction, and then but I do agree with you, there is definitely synergy with blue.
Alright, well, you're up.
Alright, got a 0 shard cost called Cooling Off. It will play an action to choose a player. They lose a heat and draw 1 card. So this kind of reminds you of the Smooth Handoff a little bit. And at the bottom, I believe the pip cost is 1. So to me, this sounds like Smooth Handoff.
I think this is literally Smooth Handoff. They may have rechanged the wording on it.
Yeah.
Choose a player, they lose 1 heat, and draw a card.
Yeah, this is Smooth Handoff. So
I guess they decided to change the name.
Yeah. I would give it
Smooth Handoff, and you got 2 of those.
Yeah.
You run 4 of them.
That'd be sick. Honestly, Smooth Handoff's pretty good. You get the value out of it. They lose a heat and draw 1 card, and then you're putting your opponent down, and depending on how much heat you have on you, that can be pretty crucial. You got 5 heat on you, your opponent's got to pay 5 more shards to get your heat up to 5 again. Like, I don't know. I think it's a solid 4. But then again, like, do you really, like you said, it negates the losing a card kind of net 0, but that's what's going to help you the most. So, yeah, I would give it a 4. With the pip cost of 1, it's definitely a 4.
Yeah, a 4 definitely. Oh, Emperor Dredge. He's an obstacle. Okay. I thought he might be an agent with a name like that.
Oh yeah.
All right. Reaction: after you forge a card, shift this card.
Not bad.
If this card is in your grid and it's discovered, shift a card in engaging player's grid. Okay, it's 5 though and 3. Oh, I'm sorry, sweetie. You gotta be careful. Yeah, good. I sent you a little kissy kiss. So this has got 5, so you can't get it otherwise.
Yeah.
It's got a 3 obstacle cost and a 6 presence. So it costs 9 to get rid of it.
I don't know. The cost of 5's high. Pip 6, I think
We do have a seeker that gains 3 and another agent that gains 3 if the conditions are met.
Yeah.
So I think that's the goal thought.
Yeah.
Like an orange green, like orange 5, green 1, maybe?
Yeah. I mean, I would
or
give
mono
this...
orange, so I'd say 4.
You give it a 4?
Because the ability after you forge a card, shift this card, it gives more shifting tricks to keep you from getting to agents that they might want to.
True.
And you shift this card, so this is moving itself into the appropriate lane it needs to be in to be a 3 obstacle before you can get to the expensive.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
It's a defensive tool. Again, this is if orange is supposed to be optional to control route, I could see this.
Yeah.
Because that's literally a wall.
Yeah. That's definitely a big wall.
Because you saw in previous games, like Iron Enforcers go into a lane with their 3.
Yeah.
You either need an disagreeable inspector or something, or you just go. You just literally are like, okay, well, I'll just pick one of the other 2 lanes.
Yeah.
It's not worth it unless it's worth it.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I would give it a 3. I agree. Alright. Shard cost of 1, Flooding Thoroughfare. It has a reaction.
So it's an obstacle.
Reaction: after this card is forged during a delve, this card gets +2 barricade until the delve ends. So this is almost conditional, right? If somebody's delving into whatever lane this card's in, I can forge it, and as a reaction it gets +2 barricade until the end of the delve. I mean, it's very good tactically. I think, what's the presence? 3. I think it's very conditional. I would give it, yes, the economy is great. I mean, I would give it a 3, but really a 2. I just think it's very conditional. And knowing what other cards exist in at least green from what we've seen so far, I just think there's better cards out there. This might be able to stop you from delving all the way through, to breach either my Commons Council or Archives, but at the end of the day, I don't know. To me, I find this to be very conditional, and the fact that the barricade cost is lost after the delve, I find that to just be kind of like, well, I better replace this. But then again, it is a cost of 1, so maybe I'm giving too much, heat to it.
Too hard.
But
I would say because the pip cost of 1, any control deck would be happy to have this as a stopgap. This reminds me of blue cards in Magic that return a creature back to the opponent's hand. Mm-hmm. It's not a counter spell. The guy can still play it, but it buys you a turn.
Right.
And sometimes when you're a control player, buying a turn or buying... How many games have you and I played against each other where literally the person who goes first on that turn wins because if you couldn't have pulled off what you needed to on your first run to get the agent, which you knew where it was, then I was going to get my 3rd agent following, and if I could just have that, there to go, no,
Right.
one time. And so I don't know.
Yeah, and I guess you could always place a card on it, later if you didn't want to, So, yeah.
Well, one to stop a run.
Yeah, one to stop a run. Yeah. So I would say, I'd give it a 3 then.
But you have to look at it that way. You can't look at it. I agree with you. If you're looking at it as a permanent obstacle, like most obstacles look at, you would be like, well, it does one thing for me, but then it's kind of pointless.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like a Barbican Gate, like it has that confront for its one that constantly is annoying. You need to exhaust something, or I get 2 money.
Yeah.
That's a wall. I wouldn't think of this as a wall. I think of this more like a bounce.
I agree.
You're paying 1 to stop a run. You're literally processing it down there. And the reason I say that is because of the 1 pip, so anyone could easily grab that's trying to be a control player. Mm. They just need 1 orange agent. The second thing is it's 3 presents. So if I'm not wanting to reveal it, I'm not wanting to stop your run, but you're going to look at it anyway, you have to pay 3 to prevent me from paying 1 later.
Right.
To stop your run. You know it's there. Now that means you know that you need 3 before a future run. So like even if you revealed it, it has a high enough presence cost that I could still get, like, it spoils the surprise, but it still is useful, because if I reveal like a shard runner, I'm very inclined to just go ahead and pay and kill it, even deter what I was doing. A disagreeable inspector as well, like things like that I see. So if this had like a 1 or 2 in the presence cost, you'd easily be like, but it's 3, so you're literally paying the 3 you would have paid if I revealed it, with me paying 0 if you discover it, which still has the same effect.
True. Yeah.
Or if you're just going to keep running over it, or I need to pop it, I pay 1 and still get it. So I view it as a bounce. So because of that, though, I'm only going to put that at a 3, slightly above 2. It's niche, but I do see, if you're a control player, that it could be a useful tool at 1 pip. So,
great.
All right, there's good old Goldie. So can get you a shard. I like the new
artwork
style.
Yeah, it looks very good.
And I'll play that in a second, sweetie, okay? Yeah, I know. I know you do. You need to wait. I know. You need to wait. So the action is, if you have fewer heat in your pool than your rival, you can exhaust this card and gain 3 shards. So, and of course, it requires you to have at least 1 pip in orange. You can't play that Seeker without at least 1 pip in orange, which makes sense. It's the color you're choosing for your faction, but it's honestly good, because if that was the case, you could run her and then run like 2 other colors and just be using her for the effect.
Yep.
And that could create a whole list of problems, so I see where they're going with that, and I can appreciate it. She's one of our favorite Seekers. She's freaking solid.
Oh yeah.
And surprisingly, it doesn't seem like it. She seems like she's all about the resources, but she's really good for aggro play.
Oh yeah.
Because if you're constantly up your opponent's tailpipe, giving them heat, and making runs and making delves against them, then you're constantly also threatening to get 3 money to kind of make up your resources that are, because it's costly to be aggro. It's costly to constantly be attacking and throwing extra money into heat. So that helps. Again, that's one of those economy boosts that I was talking about. You're accelerating your economy through the process of your attacking. So I think to me, in the realm of Seekers, she's a solid 5 of 5. She's dang good.
Oh yeah, she's a 5 for me. She's amazing. All right, next 3 shard Guildmaster Janos, Affable Gaffer. While this card is forged, each other card in your grid gets -1 shared cost. So, -1 shard cost. So, in your grid, that means you're like the entire field, everything costs 1 to forge. That's interesting.
No, -1. So
yeah, so
like if it
costs
like
1 less.
yeah, so your eye enforcers, if you flip them up to forge them, would be 3 instead of 4.
Interesting.
It's a double-edged sword, but yeah, 4 barricade.
1 shard that you could exhaust, and then it has a cipher. Engaging player exhausts a card in their council path, and it has a presence of 1. So, yeah, I would be trying to play him quite a bit if I had him in my deck. Oh yeah, you have to every time. I think in this case, his barricade cost is pretty significant. Your barricade cost, you're going to want to spend a lot of time to get rid of him if you're the opponent. And again, if he's forged, everything is going to have a barricade cost. But the barricade cost of 4 is pretty annoying, so I think as soon as I pay that the first time, if I was the opponent, I'm going to immediately get rid of him as an agent, just because, again, like, everything on my board, especially if I'm playing him late game, just gets cheaper, so I have more things to flip up or flip over as, you know, my opponent's delving me. So I think in this case, yeah, I would say it's a solid 4. That's just my opinion, though. But I just think the late game value out of this agent would be good, especially if you have him in your back row. I just think it's pretty solid.
Right. Excuse me there. I would say that I would give it a solid 3, but I will say this much about it. The thing I do like about it is going back up here, the flooding thoroughfare now costs 0 because it did not say to a minimum. It just says -1, which means you can make things free.
Yeah.
So I could see, once we look through the blues, I would easily change my vote to a 4 from a 3 if we see something like a really fun orange-blue deck possibility with a bunch of 1 barricades.
Right.
To where you're constantly throwing like these discover 1 barricade things like for free out, and constantly just shifting the board state, kind of being like a pacifism deck.
Yeah, that I don't think it can be ignored. We haven't seen all of purple or blue.
Yeah.
So I think there's definitely some more things that card could do.
Hoarder's Array. While this card is forged, your Seeker gets +1 council limit, so you go to a hand size of 6.
Yeah.
And draws a card, which would make sense because it's upping your hand allotment. The 3 presence, and only 1 cost. Because it's only got a pip of 1, it has a solid 3 presence, which is annoying to pay for. It's not a 2 or 1. It can draw you cards, which is not bad. It's equally good to... This is one of those weird arguments like in chess that bishops and knights are awarded 3 points each, and you can make an argument all day long which is technically better, a knight or a bishop. And so to me, when I think of, is it better to have a card draw or is it better to have a shard gain on a card, I feel like it's 50-50 because it's conditional on the state of the game at the time. So
I would agree with you on that. I'm 60-40. I feel like shards are better, but I do see there are moments where if you're all focused in on shards, then you definitely need some card draw, because without cards in your hand to play with those shards, like, you're just sitting on a pile of shards and not really doing much.
One of us is on the other side of a blue player that's constantly taking cards from your hand and archiving them.
Yeah, you don't want to be drawing a bunch of cards.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You might need to draw cards so you have things because
True.
you keep losing stuff from your hand because they keep yanking it.
True.
He's taking away your hand size. You might need to replenish, but yeah, that's fraught with danger too. So yeah. All right. Well, you know this card very well, but there's a huge advantage.
And change. It's a shard cost of 0 for this on Infiltrate, whereas originally, at least in our decks, it only is a cost of 1. And it has a reaction as you begin discovering cards in Council, discover +2. So I believe is this if we scroll down, does it actually have like a so
it is 3 pips.
Yeah, 3 pips.
They put that in there to limit everyone and their uncle running that too, alongside calling in favors.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a solid 3. I think we play Infiltrate anytime we're, going into somebody's council and it's in our hand. Like, why not? Especially when I can see everything my opponent has in their hand.
Especially now that's free.
Yeah, and it's free.
We were paying 1 for it. And it was still a good.
And we were happy to pay the 1 too. So I think this card it's a 3. I think with the economy, but I mean honestly, if you're running Omniworks, like you're gonna have this in your hand.
I think because my preface for a 4 was it'd be ubiquitous in color, but you will see it minor splash in others. It has to go down to 3 because with it being 3, it's limited to what being able to splash, unless I'm wrong, and 50/50 is a solid deck archetype.
Right.
But there's a lot of good 4s and 5s and 6s we saw in green, and we've already saw some really interesting players. We saw the 1/5 in orange, which seems to suggest. So I don't know. If I'm wrong and 50/50 is good, 3/3 agent deck building is suitable, then yeah, anyone that can grab a 50/50 with orange and get calling in favors and infiltrate, easily done. So I'll keep it. I'll also agree to 3 on my viewpoint. Side note. Tell me that doesn't look like Sokka from Avatar the Last Airbender.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Looking at it like, oh man. Alright, Job Board. That one is a 2 cost. Refund 1, so as this card's presence is broken, you gain 1 back. While this card is forged, each adjacent card gets -1 shard cost.
That's pretty solid.
And it draws a card. I wish it gained a shard, considering what it did, because that would just be like 3 all in the wheelhouse of shard manipulation. Yeah. But I get why not. If that,
balance.
Because if that produced shards too and could pay for itself within like 1 turn, because again, when you do stuff like this and you're trying to gain an advantage, you forge it, immediately exhaust it, gain 1, now you start your next turn and immediately gain 1 again. It's paid for itself. And then when it's broken, you get 1 and net positive of 1 by the time you've played it.
True.
So I get why not. Let's see, 3 presents, 2 shards. If people are needing to accelerate their game state board, I could see this. I could see aggro possibly using this as an additional card, not part of their ultimate win strategy, but as a helper, because it would draw them the cards they need for their aggro, so it replaces itself immediately. If you think about, I immediately play it, reveal it, and draw a card, then my hands is still the same size, it's paid for itself. If you're going to break it, I get 1 of my 2 monies back, so I'm really only out 1 to do it, and my deck's thinner, and because you need to play fast.
Yeah.
And then it's also making the adjacent thing, so like a dragon's horde, you put it right down in the middle.
Yeah.
So you have 4 spots where you can get things like that maybe cost 1 that help you aggro better for 0.
Sure.
So you're not needing to spend money on your on these pieces that are helping your aggro, your money could focus on building heat and like capturing agents.
I agree. Yeah.
I can see that because of the 2 pips.
Yeah, I would give it a 4.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think it's solid. So.
And it'll be ironic at the start of 2027 when this game comes out, considering this, unless 2026 does some magical like 360, that one of the most prevalent cards that everyone's having to stare at is a job board.
Yeah. That would be ironic. 3 cost shards. Lost byway reaction after this card is forged, lose 1 heat. You can also exhaust it for a shard. It will have a presence cost of 4, and it carries 3 pips on it. So, you know, I feel like this is like, I want to say it's a 2. I genuinely want to put it at a 2. I feel like this is very easy. Like, yeah, I lose 1 heat, but then again, like, it's just very conditional. I feel like for the shard cost of 3, it's just not what you want out of other, out of other cards we've seen. I think there's better value out of other cards. Yeah, I feel like if the pips were 2, it would be better value.
So it has the smallest amount of connectivity to Bros Breslow here. After this card is forged, choose a player. So it can be you. Unforge a card would cost 3 or less. So, like, you could unforge your Lost Byway and then reforge it and lose an additional heat. That's a lot of work for not a lot of payoff. But if you're like a Goldie control deck, I could see this being a 1 of, maybe you do a 2 of, that it's just there as a meta choice in case someone's fighting you over heat.
Yeah. But it's very conditional. It's very conditional.
I would say it's like when you're an aggro player and you have to have a couple pieces of like tech in your deck in case your opponent puts up an early wall because he's stopping your aggro push. Mm-hmm. And so you need like a P-kill of some kind, or you need a reach, like a lightning bolt. Do you technically, you want to be hitting your guy with fast creatures, but you still need the lightning bolt because maybe by the end of the turn, your opponent's at like 3 life, 2 life, but then they got enough creatures you can't get through with your, fast onslaught. So now you just reach with that tech card.
True.
I see this being a tech card for Goldie, but again, only for Goldie. Half the time, the players that put it in there for Goldie will not just discard it, or it'll sit in their hand. They don't care about it, but they need it in that one situation where someone's actively fighting against their heat.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'll say that as a 2. It's average, it's not below average, but it's definitely a meta choice.
Agreed. Yeah, definitely a meta.
Prized Gulk. So it costs 2. It's obviously an obstacle because it has a barrier cost here of 1, or obstacle cost of 1. Its confront is I get to gain a shard. Its discovery is I get to gain a shard.
A lot of shard gain.
Its presence of 5 and only 1.
Yeah, that's very good.
Again, a control deck that's running that 1 at the 1 pip that you remember that says all things adjacent are -1.
Yeah.
Now that costs 1. And the other one that gets an obstacle cost at 3. I see like a walls deck.
Yeah,
like,
this is kind of giving me like Barbican Gates vibes. Yeah.
You like go blue in with this, and you're like at Barbican Gates and these, and you're like putting up all these walls that have all these like discovery benefits. And you're just messing with the opponent left and right.
Agreed. Yeah, I'd give that a 4. It's a solid 4.
Yeah, with 1 pip, it's a solid 4.
Calibrate, 0 shard cost. It looks like it's got an instant window. Unforge a card in your grid and draw 1 card. So to draw the 1 card, you gotta unforge a card in your grid. I mean, It's
an
definitely like a
instant speed.
one-off. Yeah, it's an instant speed and it's a one-off. Like, you're not gonna be able to reuse this, but you could use this to get some reaction out of it. 1 pip cost, I think. I mean, I would say it's solid 4 or 3. I mean, I think it's very Omniworks only. So I think that's why I would give it a 3, probably just because it's really more up the Omniworks orange faction than other things.
So I'm going to actually give this a 5. And I'm going to give it a 5 because it is instant speed. It is a card that literally replenishes itself and then has an ability. So the fact that you do not lose a card from your hand to play it, it has no cost, 0. Anyone can 1 pip into it, and you unforge a card in your grid. I'll have to ask Chubtoad about this, because I had a thought about it last night. When you forge or unforge a card, does it retain state? Let's say I have a card in my archives grid, and I tap it, it's forged, and I tap it, or exhaust it, till I can get your sergeant, whatever, the blue guy, who says, exhaust a card in your archives pack. Then I play this, and now I unforge it. Does it become straightened, or does it retain its exhausted state? The act of forging and unforging, does it...
Yeah, does it like revert it back? Yeah, I guess it'd be...
Because the same token, if I was smart and I knew your guy was there, I could exhaust my unforged card.
Right. Then
get your guy, and then on my next action window, forge it, and now it's face up, and then gain the ability.
Yeah.
I don't know. I need to figure out.
I mean, if it would go that far, then yeah, I would give it probably a 5 then, but...
I'd still give it a 5 even without that case, just because, like, anyone that runs it, they're thinning their deck by 2 cards.
Fair.
Because you will just play it and draw a card. Yeah, it might suck to unforge a card, but it may not.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
And the reason I also 5 it, well, if Auntie Ruth worked the way she used to, that would have been really... I think because of all these unforged cards, that's why Auntie Ruth became an exhaust to draw a card. Because otherwise you would be Ruthin like a motherfucker. Oh, yeah, I'd be right. I'm just going to keep drawing 3 cards off of Ruth every turn.
Yeah, I'd like to draw 3 cards off of Ruth, yeah.
Especially if you make her cheaper.
True.
Oh, man.
Okay. I don't disagree. Recruiter Nilaro, Effusive Inducer. While this card is forged, your Seeker gets +2 council limit. So you get 2 additional cards in your hand for your hand limit. It has a Seek. Choose a player, they draw 2 cards. Again, for a shard cost of 3, you are able to have your agent with a barricade cost of 4 and a presence of 2, and you can also exhaust your agent to draw a card. I would say in this case it seems very conditional, but again, if you're drawing a bunch of cards, probably wouldn't be bad once you forged the agent to have a bunch of extra cards in your hand, so you have more things to do. But I would still give it a solid 3. It's decent. It's could work with other factions, but maybe it could be 4. But I think it's just, I don't know, right up the middle in terms of what it does. I mean, its barricade cost 4 is pretty solid, but then again, like, it's an agent. It's a win condition piece that you're exposing out there by having it forged. And depending on how your opponent's looking at this, they might not want it on the board for much longer. So
when you have it forged, you're going 6 in, and you have a card draw. The discovery, you might as well not have that discovery. I'm going to right now say unequivocally you're wasting your life if you're hoping that they'll discover him and you could draw 2 cards.
Yeah, because they're going to probably immediately kill it.
For 2.
For 2, yeah. So
if this was 2 and 4,
different
sure.
story. Yeah, I agree.
So this should be forged, which is good because when it is forged, you get +2 council limit. I see this being picked as one of the ones you would pip over equal to Auntie Ruth, and that's because in the grand scheme of things, if you draw it in your game, you're not going to be as mad about +2 hand size as anything else you could do. +2 hand size is easy. Like, I see average players and beginning players, and all of us when we first start out are going to be looking at this like, well, maybe +2 is pretty good. Because it's one of those things like gain an additional card draw each turn or gain an additional mana each turn. It's like, it's a solid advantage that everyone, you read that and you're just like, oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, so there might be better choices. I don't know, but I'm gonna for it because I think I see that being one of the top picks for agents when you're splashing.
Right.
Because it's just easy to pay 3 and put 6 barricade up, and they're going to want to come at that barricade because they don't want you to have a hand size of 7.
Yeah, they want those extra options. So yeah, I don't disagree.
So if you already know that going in and you put it on the back behind a couple barricades, which again we've seen there's some really good access to in orange alone.
Yeah.
Then good luck.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't disagree. Still hold with 3, but yeah, I agree.
Good old Rory and Bug. So he's still 0. We fetch it, you catch it. Not sure which one's Rory and which one's Bug, because honestly that could be either way. I'm going to assume Rory is the blue guy and Bug is the dog, but I could be wrong. At instant speed, exhaust this card and lose 2 shards. Shift this card. This is huge. If it wasn't anything other than instant speed, this card would be trash. It needs to be instant speed because that instant window before someone goes running at it, you need to be able to pay 2 and move him to another lane to stop your ability from getting to Rory and Bug.
Yeah, you need to get him out of there. Honestly, hot take, I think Rory is the dog and Bug is the dude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Still a 3/2. Still produces a shard, which is great. You have to be very careful when you play this because you want to gain the shards, but you need to make sure you're always waiting to the last action. You don't need to be sharding him and giving your opponent the ability to get with him without him shifting because he requires the exhaustion to shift. So it's very important you remember that, guys.
True.
That can be an easily like hate yourself play. Like,
Oh
crap.
yeah, you gotta be careful.
But he's a solid 4. Actually, I'm gonna put him a solid 5.
I think he's a 5. Yeah.
Just because he's 0. And he comes with an ability built in that makes him hard for you to capture him.
Yeah.
So if you need to get into orange, this is like a 0 cost win.
Yeah, it's like a no-brainer first pick every time.
Because of the 2, you should play him.
Yeah.
Because you want your opponent to have to pay 5, not pay 2.
Exactly.
Without a cipher, he should be in play. Luckily, that's okay because it costs you nothing to flip him, and he has some protection baked in. So make them pay the 5.
Agreed.
And the extra actions it's going to take because they're going to have to run at him in one lane. You're going to move it over.
Yeah.
They have to run at him again. That's 2 actions just off of his own ability. It's 2 actions and all the effort within versus your 2 shards.
Agreed.
The action economy you gain for 2 shards in that is more than worth it. I promise you guys. But also, before we move to the next guy, I just want to triple down on this. He does require like thinking about the game a little more dynamically. So if you are going to play with him, you need to start the second he's like in your hand, or you put him down on the board. You need to be thinking three-dimensionally with your plays. You have to be thinking about how your opponent is going to be coming for him and the benefits. So like, you know, is it better to put him in the middle? Is it better to put him in one of the left or right sides? The back rank, the middle rank, the front rank. All those things are important decisions that you'll have to think about by playing him. And it's not just about playing him to play him so he can shift. It's what you're shifting with. If I can shift him, if I have eye enforcers in the middle rank there, the middle row, it might be great to put Rory in the middle, because being able to switch with an eye enforcers and put 3 obstacle cost in front of your opponent on his first run is huge.
Oh yeah,
because it's either going to bounce him, which then you didn't lose anything, because he's made a run for purposes of getting Rory to move, but he also did not get to delve your cards wherever Rory was.
I don't disagree with that.
And then the second run, if you can still mess with it, so like you got to know where he's going to end up and how that lane looks, what he's switching with, and how that changes the run your opponent makes. So being very present of all that when you're setting up your cards, if you know you're playing Rory and Bug, is really important.
Yeah, you got to be thinking very proactively with when you play him and put him out there on the grid.
Yeah.
2 shards, Salvage Rats, has Rush Mechanic as an instant. Pay this card's shared cost to stage it forward. Forged.
So their version of kind of haste almost.
Yeah. While this card is forged, it gets +1 barricade cost for each adjacent unforged card. So it'll at max have a barricade cost of 2 or 4.
If you put it in the Dragon's Horde middle.
Okay, yeah, adjacent. Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah.
But that would require it to be the dead center card and you to have 4 unforged cards.
Yeah.
The likelihood that you max the 4, but it can max 4. So.
Yeah, and then what's its presence cost?
3?
3, 4. I don't know. I'd give that a 2. I'd give it a 2.
I'd give it a 3. Just because we've seen that they have the ability to unforge cards.
Yeah.
So you can create bumps onto it if your opponent's not watching what he's doing. Like literally you have a 0 cost, unforge a card, and then draw a card. And like if they're coming at that lane and it could be a crucial moment, and you just like go do that, draw a card, and now it's +1 more.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from there. Yeah,
just because of what they do as a faction.
Yeah,
it plays well with that.
Yeah,
it's only ever going to be as high as a 3 to me. It works symbiotically with what you're trying to do in orange. It could be cute and have a couple clutch moments that if your opponent's not paying attention very carefully to what you got on the board and what you can do as an orange player, you could slip them up pretty hard.
True.
Because sometimes we make a run with just enough money to get to that agent that we see, and if you make me pay 1 additional one, I can't get the agent.
Sure.
So I could see it, but
I guess too, yeah.
But it's still very niche.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is a 4, so the only orange is playing it, which is why I'm willing to go up to a 3 on it, because I'm not looking at it from a cross standpoint. It won't be crossed at 4.
Yeah, I would agree. I would go up to 3. I think you
that would be
get
so
some
weird.
bad points.
I mean, theoretically, you could go Bizarro cross. You could pick a Seeker and do 2 agents in color for that Seeker, and then in 4 of another color. Like, you pick, like, Jaco and Ace, and then 2 purple agents.
Okay.
And then go 4 orange agents for your rush deck.
You could.
So, you could get, I mean,
I wouldn't give it a 4. I
don't
don't know. I don't know if it's still justified.
No, it's only a 3, even with that thought process. But I was talking about 4 orange agents. Like, you're purple, but you're technically orange 4.
Right.
In the agent pool, which is weird.
Yeah.
Because you're purple, but you're purple for the Seeker, but it's your minor color.
True.
That's weird. But deck building, it could work.
It could. It very well could. I don't know. That's what's making it exciting to spend the time.
We know
deck
purple
build
is going to be aggro from what we've seen of the cards in the preview deck.
I mean, in with a Seeker like Goldie, like.
Yeah.
Like
okay. So if like purple's like the super aggro faction, right?
Yeah.
You could still go Goldie for the aggro potential, but only go 2 orange and then go 4 into purple for all the rush that you get there.
True.
Still getting their heavy hitters because the 4s are kind of defensive on orange. You don't really care. You want Goldie for the rush, but you don't care about the 4 or 5 that we've seen thus far if you're an aggro player.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. So yeah, I guess you could use that for a purple aggro.
That's really interesting. We'll have to see. That's all going to come into play when we get the cards and we start messing with deck building. But it seems like an anathema. You picked a color just to be your minor color for
exactly, yeah.
So, that's really interesting. I didn't think it's... Oh, okay. Telemail Cluster. This is a beautiful card. We love this card. 2 cost. After this card is forged, stage 1 card. You can stage agents, obstacles, and sources. It's just making sure you don't try to... I'll do a moment.
True.
Or a subterfuge. Draws a card. It's got 4. That's good. That means only purple should see this. I'm really happy about that. I was really, really worried. Just like calling in favors, this needs to be a 3 or 4. It was. I'm happy. Otherwise, it sees ubiquitous play.
Yeah, you're going to see it every time. Yeah.
Because ultimately... You're paying 2 to draw a card every turn because no one wants to pay the 4 to get rid of it. So you're paying 2 to draw a card every turn and the benefit of getting a free action.
True.
Because the fact that you're staging a card, which normally is an action, but you're getting these 2 cards from your hand in the process of that. That's draw a card, gain extra money. These are economy or tempo boosters that really add up over time.
I agree.
So... Only orange having access to that, this is a solid 4. Even though I usually reserve 4s to seeing some moderate crossplay, I will still put it as a 4, only because of my new thought that you could go 2-4. And so I could see some wonky decks maybe actually going 4 in it as a secondary color.
I can see him pouring it on.
Yeah. Calling in favors, infiltrating this.
Yeah.
I would 2 a main color with a Seeker, and then go 4 in maybe for that.
I agree.
Especially control.
Oh yeah, especially we're gonna read. Shard cost 3, threading through. Instant window, shift a card in your grid. Yeah.
Not 3.
Did I say 3?
Yeah, it's alright.
Shard cost of 1, threading through, instant window, shift a card in your grid. I think that's 5. I don't know about you, but that is very, very, very good. If I could at instant window speed shift a card in my grid, that could save me from losing an agent right away. I think this is a no-brainer. I don't even think we need to discuss strategy. That is a easy win. Like, I don't see how anyone wouldn't be running that if they're using any Omniworks cards.
Especially at 2 pip.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer to me.
Yeah, it's a solid 5. It's going to see a lot of play.
Yeah.
It's very ubiquitous.
Wow.
Tunnel Runners, 1. Refund 1. So ultimately, if you pop it, you're free. It's free. Confront. Ooh, lose 1 to lose a heat.
That is insane.
Barricade of 1. And a presence of 2.
That's a 4. That's a 4 right there.
I would actually say, because it's a 3, I would put it as a 5 only because it does anything and everything you would want with Goldie. And at a 3, it's not going to possibly see as much counterplay. But even if, like...
I feel like you could just really get that going.
Here's my question, though. Okay. Is it required? It didn't say you.
Required?
I don't see you may lose one to lose a heat.
Yeah, so maybe
I could tax my opponent by just running into it.
Sure.
I pay one, then they have to pay one to lose a heat.
Yeah, but if they're losing heat, that means I have to spend more if I end up
I
getting
agree with
so
you.
I
always like
trying to what's the over and under on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that at a 3, just because I'm thinking there may be edge case scenarios where you could literally lose a game because you can't afford
Anything.
to get to my agent.
Yeah.
Like I have a Ruth in play, and every time you hit 4, I run against the tunnel runner to put you back down to 3. Because it's more advantageous to me that you lost a heat that you can't afford Rose.
Sure.
Or anti-Ruth, sorry, I don't want to say Rose.
No, you're not wrong though. But yeah, I would still give it a 4. I think it's solid. I think it's very good. I'm very excited for this.
Alright. Waterfront Soakhouse. 1 cost, while you have fewer heat in your pool than your rival, which is what you're wanting with Goldie anyway, so this is playing into her strategy, so that's win-win. This card gets +4 presence. I don't know what its presence is, but I'm going to bank it's 1 because anything above 1 would be ridiculous for +4.
Agreed.
5 seems about right. It draws you, gains you a resource, so it literally reveal pays for itself.
True.
So it's a net 0 of a cost other than the card from hand. So 2, so it goes to 6. So okay, but it also has a pip of 1, so that is a 5.
Yeah, it's 5 for sure.
Because it literally is a money generator that anyone can get into for 1 agent that pays for itself the turn it comes into play and is nothing but a net positive, and situationally could make itself impossible to neuter. But even if I put the card down, reveal it, immediately exhaust it, gain 1, I'm at 0, and then the next turn starts because I played it correctly, and then I can gain 1, I'm up 1. If you pay 2 to get rid of my gain of 1, I still feel like I've won in that exchange.
Oh yeah.
And that's not counting that in that situation, it could be 6. I'm just worst case scenario.
Yeah, you're just generating money and there's board presence out there. I mean, because you gotta think, like, I'm not gonna probably care, especially if it has 6 presence, to get rid of it. I'm just gonna, let you have that board piece, and then every time the round starts again, right? That's another
Jaco
shard.
said that he can't use it though. Jaco's never gonna.
Yeah, Jaco doesn't want that. Yeah.
I mean, he may want it. He just may just be like, it's always going to be a 2, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it'll be fine. Yeah.
I just need the money.
Yeah, give me the money. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, not a bad card, honestly. I like it. I'm very excited for that.
Right?
Got some really good cards in orange.
Okay, Waterway Ferry I think has been changed.
Yeah. Doesn't even cost.
It was 1. Now it's free.
Wow.
That's even better. I mean, we were playing it at 1 and happy for it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Still same reaction after this card is forged. Shift it.
But it did drop its barricade cost down from 2 to 1.
No, it did. Let's see if it's also a 3. It's still a 3.
It's still 3.
It is 2, so it can be ported easily.
Yeah.
I think that I'm okay with the drop of that for 0.
I agree. Yeah.
And this is why, guys. Yes, it's only going to shift once, but being able to flop that right down, face down, next to one of your agents on board to give you that action to move it out of the way is huge. And yeah, it was not even nicer when it had a 2 barricade, because when you did it, not only did you do it, but you put up a nice tax so they couldn't complete their run. I'd be happier with 0. I don't need to pay 1 to make them pay 2. I'm happy with 0 to 1, because the point of it was to get your agent out of the way. Or get,
Sure.
So yeah, I'm good with it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna solid 4 it.
4.
If it had the 1, I might have 3'd it, but I think this is solid at 0. It's even better than it was in the preview decks.
Agreed. Shard cost of 1. Wire crawler, refund 1. As this card's presence broken, gain a shard. Instant window speed, exhaust this card to shift it. So
we're seeing a lot more shifting now going on.
A lot of shifting. This is very interesting to see. Let's see, this wire crawler, this shard cost 1, has a presence of 3, but it does have 4 pips.
So this is pretty much mono orange unless you go Bizarro main into 4 for it.
I mean, I would give it a solid 3. I think it's very strong.
It fours.
I think it fours.
Just because it pays for itself for you to get rid of it.
Yeah. I can see that. Yeah. And you're using it to shift something around.
I'm betting dollars to dozen. There's going to be a faction that lets you unexhaust a card as part of their wheelhouse.
Yeah.
And if you could do that, then that combined with wire crawler means you'll never catch the agent.
Maybe you have to.
Because you would exhaust it, shift, then exhaust that to unexhaust the wire crawler, and you're just literally you want to do this again? You're going to need 3 actions to catch this.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess maybe we'll have to come after the wire crawler, which then again you get your shards back.
But here's the funny thing: if you go after the wire crawler, there is an argument that could be made that you tap the wire crawler and shift from the other direction.
True. I mean, you could. You very well could.
Depending on if it's their first action of the game, they still have 2 actions, maybe not. But if it's their last action of the game, you do that. It's no, you can't have that either.
Yeah. Yeah, no. That's solid.
Not action of the game, but action of the turn.
No, I don't disagree though. Yeah, that's solid.
It's interesting. Yeah, I'll give that a solid 4, but only because I am Babe Ruth predicting there's something that could untap this somewhere.
There could be.
Green me ahead. It's been so long since we did that review.
Yeah, we'd have to look at our own.
But because they're all about that. But if not, I would wager it's probably going to be in purple, because purple's all about aggro and just pounding as fast as you can. So they're probably going to have means of untapping stuff, so you know.
Yeah, you can keep your
aggression going.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that was the last card. All right.
Well, we learned a lot from this. Omniworks, everything's getting shifty. So
we get shifts in cost reduction.
Yep.
I didn't see what I thought I would see after that first one about if you have more cards in your hand, opponent has more cards in their hand than you can gain 3 money. I thought we might see a little more play into these rock and hard plays, but it literally stopped as far as Goldie and that one guy. So with that being the case, that guy's stock goes down in my opinion, because it's just a one-of effect that doesn't really have a color faction backing it. It's just if it happens, it happens.
Yeah, I think this is going to be probably the most versatile faction out of all the factions, in my opinion. I think you're going to see a lot more play with this faction out of any other. Again, could be a hot take, but I just see that there's a lot of flexibility and synergy with all the other factions, regardless of whichever one you choose to use. So, very excited. Very, very excited.
Agreed. I mean, you and I were already pretty pro-orange to begin with. I'm actually less pro-orange now, because I did not see enough aggro pieces to make me really happy, but I did see a lot of interesting pieces that can be ported over. I am super excited to see balancing with Infiltrate, Calling in Favors, and Telemill Cluster being put at 3s and 4s, so that way we just don't see an environment where everyone and their uncle is running in, because those are so huge power swingies that
I don't want to see them. I don't want to see them that often.
Every game.
Yeah, you're like, yep, I know what that does every time.
So alright, well, thank you everyone, and thank you for watching. Please, like, subscribe. we'll keep doing this kind of source since we know now it's going to be audio podcast unless you're watching the video podcast on YouTube. So we'll keep trying to kind of be more vocal about things and not expect you to be able to see because you may not be seeing, you may be listening, and that's perfectly fine. Have a beautiful day, and we in advance hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving.